There's no doing this life without money, so it is absolutely important that you handle your money right. Are there things that you spend it on that you could probably do without? Or is there something you should be doing that you haven't yet? Here are the 10 money mistakes you should not make. Number 10. Paying into get-rich-quick schemes. Building a hefty sum of money takes time. If someone is telling you otherwise, then run for the hills. If it were possible to make $1 million in a year, many people would have gotten on board. We are all fragile where money is concerned, and this makes it easy for con artists to get a foothold on our minds. Getting out of college and high school, which were structured, and then having to figure everything out for yourself can be overwhelming. Even then, do the time. Get a stable job, find a side hustle, and save religiously. This will save you more heartache than the get-rich-quick scheme, which will take your money, time, and mess with your emotional health. Number 9. Borrowing money. It has become easier to make all purchases with credit cards, but the more you add charges to that card, the more the bill piles up. Most cards also come with an interest rate that will eat deeply into your savings, especially if you don't pay them off on time. Borrowing money is always under the illusion that you will have money at a given time in the future, but that is rarely the case. Unfortunately, paying back debt is also hard to do, more so if there is no plan in place. There will always be growing needs, and as the money comes in, it will go to your emergencies and basic needs. A survey conducted found that Americans between 18 and 29 years owe over $1.03 trillion in debt. This shows the different debts, student debts, credit cards, and so much more. The truth is that the borrower is a slave to the lender. To enjoy your financial freedom, get out of debt and stay out. Number 8. Buying a lot of things. Having things is not bad, even luxury items. It becomes a problem when you start to accumulate so many of those items that you won't even get to use a few. How many pairs of sneakers do you need to go running? Most probably less than 5. You need to be wiser with how you spend your money and approach things with a minimalist mindset. If you can rent it and take it back, then that is a better use for your money. We buy things and imagine that we will always get back to them, but how often have you worn your prom outfit after the big night? So, it is safe to assume that after things have served their purpose, you may not think of them again. Borrow books from the library. Borrow that leather jacket from your good friend. Buy a few bags and shoes that you are sure you will use. Buying a lot of things will clutter your mind as well and keep you uncomfortable in your relationship with money. Exercise self-control so that you know that you have the power over your money. Number 7. Lending money when you can't afford it. The rule for lending money is to only give what you are willing to lose. Unless you are a loan shark, don't make it a habit to loan people money. Usually the people that will ask us for money are our close friends and family, people who you think you have an obligation to, and therefore can't say no. But you can actually say no, especially when you had already planned for the money. If you had it in mind to buy some furniture, go ahead and buy it. Lending money to close relationships costs you money and in most cases, your relationship. Sad but true, it takes time for those relations to pay you back in time. You start to think they are taking you for granted. You judge their money habits, and unfortunately, they never learn to be financially responsible when they always have you as a plan B. However, if you can afford it, then it is okay to be generous. You could also find yourself in a hard financial position and need a bailout. Number 6. Keeping your subscriptions. How many services are you signed up to? Being signed up to these services is convenient, that's true. But you need to ask yourself the tough questions about where your money is going. Do you even keep track of all the subscriptions you have made through the year? When was the last time you read that blog that you remain subscribed to? Do you need all 7 TV streaming platforms when you hardly watch TV anymore? And what of that meal plan when you've been on vacation for 2 weeks already? You need to be more organized with what you sign up for. Take inventory every month. Did you watch anything from that streaming platform? Do you still need the delivery service? If the answer is no, then go on and unsubscribe. You can always resubscribe when you find that you will have use for them. It's your money, so you need to take control of where it goes. Number 5. Postponing your retirement savings. Growing old is inevitable unless someone discovers the elixir or anti-aging potions. So, you've got to start thinking about your retirement now. The moment you get your first job, start putting something aside for what you will spend in retirement. Find a way to make those payments. Think of what you want your retirement to be like. Chances are you don't want to be begging for goodwill from Good Samaritans and family, so plan ahead now. To match the lifestyle you envision in about 30 to 40 years from now, you start now. Most companies make sure to have that covered, but you need to be vigilant and check for yourself. How often are they making those payments? Do you need to opt to do it personally? If you are self-employed, then that will look different. Without the company to make that payment for you, you will have to be more diligent. Number 4, frequently eating out. You lose over $3,000 annually when you decide to eat out as often as you feel like. In itself, going to various restaurants and cafes is not bad. But you need to check how often you go. Do you need to be out every day of every week? Probably not. Food is as basic a necessity for our continued survival as oxygen. There's no way around it. You will need to eat at some point. However, there are ways around it that won't have you bleeding money. Learn to make your favorite dishes at home. It is considerably cheaper that way. Pack your lunches too as you go to work or class. Consider having a home garden so that you cut down significantly on how much you spend on groceries. Then, plan for those outings to happen once in a while, like at most, twice every week. Cooking at home will also save your physical health. You'll be able to prepare things that are healthy and fresh, rather than taking a gamble at whatever place you go to eat out. Number 3, living beyond your means. Who do you set out to impress with your fancy lifestyle? Chances are, very few people notice, and you are also not impressed with the debt you are raking up. Out of school, everybody is busy just trying to survive. Social media makes it easy for us to make assumptions about people's lives. Just because your old classmates can afford a house renovation, family vacation, and a new car within a month doesn't mean you should wear yourself out to keep up. You have no idea what they are earning or what debt they are picking up. Focus on your own finances, which you actually know and can plan for accordingly. Go for a staycation instead of that Fiji vacation. Use public transport instead of getting a new car. There are ways for you to enjoy your life on your budget. Number 2, having no saving plan. You need to save because every penny counts, and you never know when you'll need it. You need an emergency fund and a savings account. Your emergency fund will work for emergencies, things you didn't see coming like a fracture that renders you immobile. Most financial advisors suggest that you should have at least $1,000 in your emergency fund. Research shows that most Americans can't come up with $300 in an emergency. Be wiser than the average person and save for a rainy day. With your savings account, plan for relatively foreseeable things: your wedding, your first house, your car, and so much more. You need to have a savings goal so that you are not needlessly depriving yourself. Set a monetary budget and a deadline. Make sure to automate your savings too so that the bank chops it as soon as your pay hits the account. This will make it easier on you, and you can spend the excess with no fear. A good way to pile up your savings is to make use of discounts and sales and free options. All that money you would have spent should go straight into your piggy bank. Don't use it to buy something else you hadn't planned for that you actually don't need. If you've enjoyed it so far, please like this video and leave a comment. What is your best way to save money? Number 1, having no budget. A budget simply tells your money where to go, like Dave Ramsey will tell you. So, you need a budget so that you are in control of your money and not the other way around. Money is a good tool and servant, but a terrible master. Therefore, you need to take the reins and steer it right. Have a budget with the right proportions. Many financial sites have templates for this, which you can get easily. Talk to someone who knows how to handle their money too, and write a budget that you are okay with, and one that you will actually stick to. Make sure that you take 20% off for savings. You can split that for all your various savings accounts. Then with the 80%, prioritize your bills and necessities. Leave some for things you enjoy, like a trip with friends or watching movies in the cinema. That way you can keep to the budget without cutting categories to enjoy your everyday moments.